Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar, where we get to sit down and talk with interesting professional guitar players and related music industry experts. If you love playing guitar, stick around. You're in the right place. Hey, this is Craig Garber. I want to welcome you to part 2 of my interview with Frank Sidoris. Check it out. He's going to finish his story about how he acquired his guitar and the unique circumstances around it. Enjoy the show, and thanks for listening.
If you want to talk about like serendipity and whatnot, like this is literally, it sounds like I'm making this whole thing up. So the story is just ridiculous. So we were in Ecuador. I remember we're playing a gig in Quito, Ecuador, and the elevation's twice as high as Denver. So
it's way up there.
And so I'm trying not to move around a lot because everyone's afraid that we're all going to faint. Like there's oxygen everywhere. So I'm standing there in one spot. And I'm just kind of wandering off mentally thinking about, okay, well, I was playing a black 335, just a standard, your average one. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, if I ever made a custom shop, my own signature guitar, it'd probably be a 335, but I want it to be like fully hollow or something, like interesting, like a 330, make it fully hollow and then, but not like a 330 neck, like be a full size 335 and then do, like, you know how custom shop, like 355s have the triple binding and all that. It's very specific. So anyway, I can go off on the details, but I wanted a specific binding. I wanted a Bigsby. I wanted the small block inlays, and I wanted all black. I wanted it to be either P90s or really nice humbucker, like PAFs or something. So fast forward about like 4 months, we go to Memphis, and I get a tour of the Memphis guitar, Gibson factory. And after the tour, it was cool because it wasn't just like the get in line with people tour, like, okay, here's wood and here's the whatever. It was like the guys that have been working there forever. The guy's name is Mike Volz.
Oh, it was like a private tour.
Yeah, it was just me and the bass player, Todd. And he showed us everything, and he took us in the back offices, and they had all these killer guitars that were they just got off the line. Like and I'd never seen them before. And we're just chatting it up, having a great conversation. And I take the guy, Mike, aside. I say, hey, who's your custom shop guy? Who do I have to talk to about making my own guitar? I don't care how much it costs. It was like one of those things where I thought I'll finance, I'll do whatever I can to get, like, I just want this guitar to come to life at some point. And he goes, I explained the guitar to him. He's like, yeah, what'd you have in mind? So I'm telling him my ideas. And as I'm done talking, he goes, that's crazy because, we literally just essentially made that guitar. Like, it's 3 hours old. And he walks over and he grabs his black guitar. It looks like a 335, right? And he hands it to me, and it smells like lacquer. It's 3 hours old. So again, brand new fucking guitar. And I'm looking at it, and I don't even know how to believe what's going on because it's exactly what I just described. Fully hollow. It has PAF pickups. It's got the Bigsby. It's got small block inlays. It's got this cool cream binding. It is literally the guitar I just talked about in my head, essentially. I came up with it, and the dude's like, we just made this guitar. And so it's the first one off the line. It's the very first one. Number 1 and 2 were right next to each other. And I'm like, holy shit. So I play it, and I'm like, thank you for your time. Thanks for hanging out with us, whatever. And we go to Graceland and go to Elvis's house, do that whole tour.
Wait a minute, did you think like that you wanted to buy it?
Well, part of me, I think I didn't want to say anything at the time, like, oh, dude, I at some point I want to get one. I didn't give him any, like, he knew that I couldn't believe I was holding this guitar, but I never really mentioned, like, yeah, I'll buy it from you later. I just said, dude, what a crazy story. Like, I think I said I'll be in touch or something, Okay. I didn't really allude to, like, I'm going to buy this guitar. So,
and I'm sorry, when was this? 2000, just 2-3 years ago?
I can actually find out right now. Give me 2 seconds. So, as I'm leaving, I'm just telling Todd, like, I can't believe it. That's literally the guitar I wanted. That's the guitar. And so I go to Graceland. We all do the tour of Graceland. So we go to, like, Elvis's house and do the whole thing. I get a text from Slash's Tech. Oh, okay, so 2015, okay. April 30th, 2015. So I get a...
That's pretty damn specific, Frank.
No, I got the photo of when it's on my iPhone, man. You could type in any city and it'll pull it up, give you the date and everything. It's crazy. So... Anywho, I get a text from Slash's Tech, who's really good friends with the guy at Memphis who does the custom shop stuff, that guy Mike Volz. He goes, hey, dude, when are you going to be back at the hotel? And I was like, we're on our way back right now. He goes, cool, text me your room number. So I get to my room, I get a knock on the door, and it's Slash's tech leaning on a guitar case. And I'm like, did they give you a guitar? Because the backstory with him is he helped develop Rich Robinson's 335.
Oh,
so
wow.
He had this relationship with this guy. He's Rich Robinson's tech right now, by the way. So anyway,
is he not Slash's tech anymore, or
not
both?
Right now?
Okay.
Slash's original tech's out with him now.
Okay.
But this guy's the best. He's the coolest. So I go, did they give you a Rich Robinson guitar? That's fucking amazing. And he's like, no, this is yours. And I'm thinking I'm like, okay, this is just gonna be like empty case or something. I was like, who would do this, right? But anyway, he brings it in. We open it up, and it's the very first 330L, and it's that guitar. Mike Volt told him, are you gonna see Frank later? And he's like, yeah. He goes, just give this to him. And it wasn't even out yet, dude. This guitar wasn't even released. It's a limited run. And he said, if anybody questions you at all, if anybody like says, hey, is this like, how'd you get this guitar? Just be like, it's a loaner. Just say it's a loaner. And it's definitely not a loaner. It's like my guitar. It's like my.
Wow. That's a nice story, man. What a really nice story.
It's the craziest thing because the fact that it essentially materialized 3 hours before I got there, and the guy ends up just giving me this guitar. I'm like, what the fuck? Like how? And it's crazy because it's called the official title. If you look at like Gibson.com, or if you look it up, it's an Gibson ES330L. So
how many of those did they make?
I don't even know. And it wasn't a lot though. I mean, it was only for a little bit. And I'd like to look it up because that I guess specifics of it. It's a 59 330 neck, and it's a 335 body, but it's fully hollow like a 330 as well. So it's all, once you get into the ES guitars, there's all sorts of specifics, and it gets pretty out there, but it's a very special guitar, man. It's just crazy. Slash played it like right when I got it. I was like, dude, check this out. And he sat there and played it. And he's like, wow, this is really cool. Like that was one of the only guitars I could really tell he was like, okay, this is a really special guitar.
That's great.
Yeah.
But let me ask, how do you play a fully hollow body guitar? Like, isn't that like bouncing off the fucking walls with sound?
So what I tried to take notes from like Billy Duffy and people that play like fucking White Falcons and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. So I never filled a guitar up in my life. Like, people put foam and shirts and stuff in their guitars sometimes. Like I didn't know had never, people do that. Like they'll fill it up and it'll help with the feedback. But I remember the first time I ever played it, it was at a festival. It might've been it wasn't Beale Street Music Festival in Memphis, but it was a festival we played. I remember I had that guitar. And I just told my tech, I was like, dude, just give it to me for like Paradise City. It's the last song we're doing. So if it starts taking off, like whatever, like it's our last song and it'll be pretty rock and roll either way. Right. So I take this guitar, and if I am in the proximity of my amp at all, like first of all, number one rule, you can't face your amp. If I am looking at that amp, it's just the moment I turn towards it, it's just immediate just screaming too. So the cool thing though, if your back was towards your back's towards the amp, if you hit a chord and let it ring, you would get this power, almost like this extra. It sounded like I just hit a fuzz pedal because it would ring it would just resonate the chord. It'd just be like, big A, and then it just all this power behind it. I was like, holy shit, it was so cool. But again, you had to really keep a distance from that amp because this thing would just take off. So now we were rehearsing. And one of the dudes at the rehearsal space was like, hey, do you want to fill this? I have like high quality foam. And he's like, he'd done this before. I was like, I'll give it a shot. So he took that like really like firm foam. Like you've seen it before.
What do you take off?
So you don't take anything off. You literally
inject it like a freaking, what is that called? Like in your walls? Like,
No, not like I know what you mean. No, like insulation.
Insulation, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. Well, how do you get it in there?
You take, here's how he did it, and it was incredible to watch. They put the guitar down on like a little, his little work box, and he took a flathead screwdriver, which seems super, scary because you're like, it's pretty scary to watch. But he takes this really firm, the pieces weren't huge by any means, but what he did was he put it on top, but at an angle, and he just used his screwdriver to kind of push it in, and all the foam just pushed right up against the wall of that hole, and it's crazy because now it does not feed back anywhere near as bad as it did. It was so bad before. Now this thing, it just kind of helps, having something up against the top of the guitar, you know what I mean, from the bottom. It helps spread that vibration. So so it looks cool too, because you'd never know that's what's inside, because it just looks black. It's all the same color. So it's pretty cool.
So in theory, if you wanted to take the foam out, you probably could. It would be a challenge, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just have to probably cut it in the middle and just start pulling pieces out,
Yeah.
But it's cool because it looks great. And
show me that bad boy if it's close. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Talk amongst yourselves if you want.
Talk amongst yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. So you're playing that on a regular basis now?
Yeah.
So how does that work with cartage A and B?
Let's see. So this one, when it's a special guitar like this, I always throw a fit at airports. I really mean business when it comes down to this kind of stuff.
Oh, you have
so
to.
I will either ship this in the guitar boat, or I will or with the freight, or I will carry this on myself, and no one can yell at me because I'll lose my mind. Because it's you just tell the airports, look, I'll tell Gibson, I've done this before. A quick aside, I remember I was flying WestJet to Edmonton, Canada, and so I had that 2002 Les Paul I told you about, and the triple pickup, both of those in my hands, and I had to carry them. Those two other guitars I mentioned, I had to carry them, and I couldn't, I remember going up to it, and it was a new person working behind the desk. They were a brand new employee, and I'm like, look, I need to carry these on. They go, sir, you can't do that. It's policy. And I was like, no, but you don't understand. They're irreplaceable guitars, first of all. They are, but I was really talking it up. I was trying to be they're worth, I was really lying to her, but I was just not going to let them break my guitar, because they had before. They, one time, Delta or someone dropped something on my 70 Les Paul in an SKB case, and it smashed the pickup ring.
Oh.
Long story short, so I tweeted WestJet, and I tweeted Gibson Guitar, and I said, WestJet's not allowing me to take my at Gibson Guitar, whatever custom shops, and I was like, wish me luck, because I don't know what to do. And then Gibson retweets it to, fucking a billion people, and WestJet, the people on their Twitter see it, and then as I get to the gate, after not really throwing a fit, but they could tell I was upset, a woman comes up to me and she goes, "Hi, Frank Sidoris?" Yes. She's like, "I just want to let you know we hand delivered your guitars onto the plane, just because I think someone on Twitter was like, hey, dude, this guy's fucking serious. So, you have to help them out. He does not want his guitars to get fucked up." So
that's really cool.
It worked out. Twitter for the win. But anyway,
that's great, man. That's a beautiful looking guitar, man. So yeah. So the black foam is inside there. Nice.
Yeah, if you can see, can you tell right there? That's foam right there. That's all.
It's hard. Yeah, I could. I don't see anything, so it has to be, because normally, even if there was nothing in there, I would see the wood of the bottom, because the wood isn't painted.
It's just a black.
Yeah, the wood isn't painted black.
Can tell, but yeah, really cool guitar. So you got your Bigsby, and these are PAF 59, and small block inlays. You got the cool cream binding. Oh, and here's another fun little fact about this guitar.
I love that cream binding, man.
Yeah, I do too.
I
love this. If you look at the truss rod cover, it's an F hole.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Super cool little stylistic thing. But then one of my favorite features of this guitar that makes it even more exciting is that Slash at the time, I remember we were at Rock on the Range in Columbus, and he had just had a Les Paul custom made. So the black one with the diamond and everything. So they had put, for whatever reason, on his pickup selector, a white tip. You know what I mean? On your pickup selector, for whatever reason, right here, this guy here, it had a white tip instead of a cream one, so it didn't match. So yours is white, right?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's white.
So that one, it matches your guitar, though. It looks fine. It doesn't look wrong. It looks proper, right? So Slash is, he had a Les Paul custom made, and it had a rosewood neck and it was special, but for whatever reason they put a white tip on it and the cream did not match. Didn't make any sense. So on this guitar, I'm playing it, warming up.
Oh, you know what? That looks great.
I'm warming up, and this one was white too. It didn't match my binding. So Slash goes, "Hey, do you want to trade?" So this is Slash's tip, and he has mine.
Ah, that's so funny. So let me see. Now you got a bug in my head, man. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that cream one looks good. Now I'm going to be like analyzing the tip.
Yeah, I can't tell the binding color on here, but if it's cream, I mean that's the way to go.
It is. It's cream, but I don't think it's as creamy as yours.
Oh, yeah, but yours looks great. I love that. That white, that's cool, man. Oh, it's great.
Well, you know what? If Frank Sidoris says my guitar looks great, I'm not doing a damn thing with it.
Keep it the same. But yeah, that guitar is very special, man. I mean, it's totally recording worthy. I mean, it's just everything about that guitar. It's just beatly. It sounds like, I mean, if you crank it up, it's just powerful, and it cleans up. Everything about that guitar is very special. And
now that it doesn't feed back, you could really make it, work the shit out of it.
And if I want it to feed back, I have the option. That's the cool thing. If I go up to my amp, even though it's filled up, and it'll just fucking, it's like a deep feedback though. It's really sick. You love it, man.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Really good. Great stories, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I thank them big time because they did not have to do that. He did not have to give me that guitar. Like, what the fuck? It was our first time meeting, by the way. He was just so, yeah, but I think we just really got along, man. It was cool.
Frank, you're just that guy. Like I said, you're easy to root for. There are certain people that you just want to do shit for because they just deserve it, sort of, That's just the way it is. I mean, I don't know how to explain. And I'm not by any means kissing your ass because I have no reason. I mean, I would say nothing.
I feel you. I appreciate that, though.
You're just one of those guys. You're easy to root for. You want to help you because you're just like you're not a dick. You're a really pleasant guy. Frank Sidoris, not a dick.
Yeah. On my guitar picks, I'm just going to, not a dick.
Yeah.
Totally do that.
That could be the I forgot it. I'm losing my mind here.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Royal Electric's first album.
Exactly. We're not dicks. It's okay.
Yeah, we're not dicks. Who are your biggest influences guitar-wise playing?
Man, it's a great question because I really am all over the board. Like I've always, okay, so early on, easily the original Alice Cooper band. Those guys were, you could listen to those albums from like Welcome to My Nightmare and like Alice's solo, once he went solo and all that. And those dudes are the shit, like Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter and all that. But Glenn Buxton and Michael Bruce, the original guys, what's so cool is that they were very Beatley themselves. They were trying to be the Beatles. And it's like they went to school off of the Beatles and look what happened. Like they ended up writing some of those badass rock and roll music ever. Like that, the school's out, like No More Mr. Nice Guy. Like listen to the verses in No More Mr. Nice Guy. It's like just beautiful chords. Like just the way they, like songwriting wise, they're just amazing.
Well,
so then
just the bend, people on No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Totally.
That is just like that.
Yeah.
You really hear that. It's so like appropriate and so simple. And it's
Absolutely.
Just awesome.
So then, I actually played classical guitar for years. Like I competed in high school. I know it's so random, but
no, but that's probably why you got that gig with Slash because your finger dexterity was probably nuts from that.
I took that so seriously, dude. It was ridiculous. But I'm a big like David Bowie fan. I've always loved, it's like any of that kind of just, T-Rex. Like I really got down with Jimi Hendrix too, but I think Alex Lifeson was definitely a big one for me, for sure. I mean, because it was random, and he's the reason I actually played classical guitar, if you could believe it. Like The Trees, that song The Trees has that classical intro. And
on the acoustic.
Yeah, it's a cool little classical intro. And so I remember I had a teacher who was trying to teach me classical guitar, and after that blues guy, and I was like, I'm just trying to play rock music, dude. I'm sorry. Like, but I didn't say it like so bluntly, but I was trying to be nice. Like, dude, I don't know if I want to do the classical thing. And he's just like, well, it's something that you could really I mean, even if you don't become a classical guitar player, you will have, I mean, it's just good for you. And I swear by this to this day. It's important to get down like that. But I was listening to Rush, and then I heard the Trees, and I go, okay, let's meet in the middle here. Show me this rock band's classical song.
Oh, yeah, clever, man.
So that was that. But
you learn good negotiating skills.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's funny. But yeah, over time, it's like I mean, Slash was definitely one of those dudes that I looked up to. I mean, and I will say that one of the most important ever for me, and this is in no particular order, really. I'm just kind of throwing out some names. Yeah. But I swear to you, dude, like clearly the Beatles as a whole. I mean, I looked up to everything that they did, but Jimmy Page. I know Led Zeppelin. When people just say, "Hey, man, rock and roll Led Zeppelin," right? But it's like Jimmy and his everything he did. Just for me, I worshipped early on. That was not every, because I mean, there's people. When I say I listen to everything live, like then. With Zeppelin, there's always a danger in saying you know everything about Zeppelin, or like because there's always the bootleg guys like, do you know from fucking '74 when the
yeah.
Sorry, I don't have that, but like
the third night at the Garden when Bonzo was sick, the first 3 songs. It's like
exactly.
How do you retain? Like why do you know that information?
So funny, dude. That's hilarious. That's a perfect way to say it, because Bonzo was sick and Jonesy was sick, and anyway. So I really look up to Jimmy. I still do. He's one of those dudes that I'm waiting to run into him and meet him, and just not fanboy, but just kind of just shake his hand. And I think
sure.
that is one of those. I mean, every single Zeppelin album. I mean, Coda, I know always gets the bad rap, but I loved Presence. Presence really stuck out to me early on. It's hilarious. But Physical Graffiti,
Graffiti, that's get a lot of bang for your buck on that one, man.
Oh, 100%, dude. Like, as far as like, I think, and Stevie Ray Vaughan was a big deal early on for me. Like, I remember attempting to tackle the song Rude Mood, if you know that one.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's just on fire, because you go, okay, as a young guy trying to play it, you're just playing the notes, but you realize you're not playing that every single time he's going every single time he's doing like a mute. It's like it's the funkiest shit ever if you think about it. His right hand, I will attribute me kind of going down that like more like falling in love with playing rhythmic stuff. I feel like it's natural too for people mostly like loving rhythmic stuff and wanting to play the drums and shit, but like the fact that like he was so loose, and then even Jimmy Page was like sloppy loose in the coolest way. Like songs like the Wanton song on Physical Graffiti, it's like that was my shit. Like anything, they love James Brown too. They were super groovy. It's like that was a lot of the bands I love had some kind of funky something to them in the background for the most part. But
I hate when people like you listen and you read and you hear things. Oh, Jimmy Page was so sloppy. I'm like, you know what? Fuck. And
I say sloppy in a nice way.
No, you were like complimentary. You weren't saying.
I know where you're going.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like,
sloppy. Fuck off, dude. He's the shit. Like, that's not a bad sloppy. That's a style. That is the most loose coolness ever. And it's like, and dude, I love Eddie Van Halen. I fucking love the dudes that can get down like that. But I mean, Eddie was still groovy as fuck too. Think about it. It's like he trying to play some of those riffs. It's like no one has the swing that guy had.
Yeah, he played with a lot of swing.
You can play as fast as you can, but Eddie Van Halen has more swing than you. Sorry, it's like sorry about that. That's just what it is. And even and this is kind of funny because a lot of people I don't think people expect it, but like Paul Gilbert was one of those dudes for me. Because like, look, I am the last guy, especially now in my life. I feel like I don't want to sit down and just go, hey, look at this insane lick I could play. Like I don't. Early on when you're learning, it was cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. I still love, like my favorite thing now, if I'm going to play an insane lick, it'd probably be a really like chicken picking kind of cool. I love that. That's always sick. But anyway, Paul Gilbert is one of those guys that I kind of was turned on to him from one of my best friends, and I slowly listened to him more and more. And you realize if you look at anything from Paul now, my favorite thing that I heard him say, because he's a huge Beatles guy, all he wants to do is just play cool shit and like just, beautiful things. And it's like he had an interview, or I forget where he said it, but he goes, if I could go back, I would have done everything completely differently because I think I've done a lot more damage than good. And I was just like, what does he mean by that? So he's saying it was almost like he was promoting just playing as fast as you can with no feeling. Even though when he played fast, he played with feeling, and he had soul. Like, I am not, and no offense to anybody, I'm not like an Yngwie guy. I'm not. I really don't get down with that. But Paul was the only dude who played like. I was attracted to his kind of shredding, I guess, if you want to. It's like he played with soul, and it was just like what he was doing was totally crazier than anybody else. I think the only other person that blew my mind in that realm was that guy Guthrie Govan.
Yeah, from England. That
dude's out of his mind. That no one plays like him. Like he literally is not real. I don't think. I don't think it's possible. Almost what he does. It's crazy.
You know who I've listened to, because I actually have her coming on the show, so I was going back. Jennifer Batten.
No way.
A pretty badass. Yeah, she's coming on like Monday.
Great,
yeah,
dude.
She's coming on Monday.
Oh, by the way, I want you to know I am a huge Michael Jackson fan. I am like, I mean, when it comes down, we're talking rock and roll all the time, but it's like, again, I really do love like Michael and the music in the background. Like, listen to like "Wanna Be Starting Something" by Michael, and that crazy ass chromatic-y guitar solo-ish. I don't know how just that little part. It's like that stuff is so much harder than a lot of the stuff that people are trying to learn nowadays. You got to have a loose right hand, and you have to be loose in general, I guess. It's like all those little things that people kind of overlook, maybe because it's pop music I don't understand, but like that is the coolest shit in the world when you can play like that. And Jennifer played with Michael. She was the Dangerous tour. I know all about her.
But she was very, very soulful in a lot of her. She was obviously. I mean, I listened to something the other day, and it was like 16th notes at 132 beats a minute, because I took out my metronome and I'm like, fuck, I gotta clock this. And it was like but it sounded great. It really did. So I would put her up there in that category. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Really is badass, dude. Like I love that Michael featured just not just killer guitar players, but the fact that they were also women on top of it just made it's like he loved that. He's like, I'm going to showcase how badass you are. And I love that it's not like, oh, she's good for a girl. Like I hate that people that kind of shit, like, because it's just so stupid to say. But like she's bad motherfucker. As a bad motherfucker, like, what are you gonna say? Like, she's better than you.
No, she's a great guitar player, man.
That's cool, man. But yeah, anyway, I definitely now in my life, as far as who I'm looking up to, it's like I really do look to all of the most kind of. It's all about just, I mean, I don't feel clearly, but it's just like anybody that has that rhythmic, like you listen to the one album that Herbie Hancock did that had a guitar player on it. It's called Secrets.
I don't know that album. I know Herbie Hancock.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But like the meters and shit like that, you listen to those kind of like that kind of guitar playing. It's all just so groovy and cool. It's just it's totally my jam now. Like learning Earth, Wind, and Fire stuff and just getting down. Like I really love that kind of realm right now. It's just where I'm at, and I just. It's not easy. It's not easy to feel good. It's like, I feel like a lot of that is natural, of course. And I think I can play that well, but like I am in that school lately. That's just kind of where I've been. And it's cool because, writing with Slash on the next album, I like to channel into that because if you listen to Slash, you realize all of his riffs are super groovy. Like listen to like even one example like Paradise City. Listen to, because he wrote the rhythm playing, learning a lot of the Guns N' Roses stuff on that like next in-depth level that I had to, because I'm not going to just take liberties and play Guns N' Roses songs, not how they were recorded. Because there's one thing I really hate about going to see people play, certain songs that are like standards. Like, dude. At this point, if you're not going to do the specific one thing that John Bonham does in The Ocean or something when you're playing it live, people are going to be like, hey, what the fuck, man? You totally missed that really important part that I've known my whole life. So when it comes down to like playing Guns N' Roses stuff, Izzy, he was a really loose kind of like Jimmy Pagey, sloppy kind of player as well. Duff told me this too. He was like, man, if you think, because I remember telling him I was playing if you listen to Paradise City, the verses, listen to Izzy's little part, which Slash wrote, which to my point was that Slash is a super funky guy too. But I remember showing Duff, I was like, I love that this guy can play, like how groovy this is. And I played it, and he goes, oh, it's not that tight. He goes, Duff was like, he wasn't saying I was playing. He goes, you're not playing it wrong. He goes, or bad. He goes, Izzy he did not play that tight. And I was like, damn. So every time I'd play, I was kind of like, you really got to really loosen up and just kind of, it's a super simple little part, but like that could be said about any of the Izzy stuff. Just play it like Ron Wood, just kind of just cool.
That's funny that you mentioned it, because he is a very, I mean, even just his physical presence, you can't find a guy more. I mean, if he was any more laid back, he'd be an ironing board or on the floor. You know, I mean, he's just like so chilled out, that dude.
100%, yeah.
But you know, that's good for you, because if that's probably like, you know, you had to look at that as a learning opportunity, because now that you got another fucking arrow in your quiver that you could do that.
Oh yeah, no, and it's something I kind of went to naturally. I feel like it's always something I like to play. I love groovy stuff, so it's cool to like go get into the Slash world and get to play these songs, and they already have those parts. Those are already, you know, because of Slash, because he has that soul in him. When he plays these certain songs, you're like, man, it's just his riffs are so hard and heavy, but like just fucking groovy, and that's why they're cool. It's just
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's funny because you know, everybody knows Lynyrd Skynyrd songs, but I interviewed two of the guys. Artemis Pyle was the original drummer, and he's on tour now. So I interviewed two of the guys in the Artemis Pyle band, and one of them is a guy named Dave Fowler. He's the bass player. And he said to me, he goes, look, he goes, one of the toughest things, surprisingly, was to learn the bass riffs. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, because, you know, everybody knows how to play Freebird, and everybody knows how to play, you know, What's Your Name, and all the Skynyrd songs. He goes, but go online. I don't remember what song it was, but there's a bass riff, and it's just stripped down, just the bass riff, and you'll see how hard it is. And so now you're telling me basically the same thing, except with a guitar riff where, you know, it's, you know, more layered, which is going to be harder. So I totally understand what you're saying, and you want to nail down those riffs as they were laid down on the tracks, and it's important to you.
I mean, there's room in certain things. Like, I understand there's certain songs that have room for your own thing, I guess, but there's so many people when they play, like, I mean, I'm really a stickler about drums specifically, like, because I play the drums on the side. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I've been playing for kind of like years now, which is weird, but like I'm not a monster drummer, but it's my favorite thing, so I really pay attention to it a lot. But then when people with drums or guitar or little things, it's like, man, you can't miss the integral parts of famous songs, like especially songs that people are really emotionally attached to. So just imagine all the Guns fans. Like if I just took liberties and I just, you know what I mean? It'd just be stupid.
Yeah. Well, you're also, in general, you're that guy that you have, you know, the bar is here, which I'm the same way. It's the right way to be. You know, you don't want to like lower, you know, you want to hit the fucking target.
100%.
You know, and so I totally get it, you know, and it's important, and you got to nail it down, you know, not 98%, but at least 99.5%, closely, preferably 100.
Totally.
Yeah, so I totally understand that, man. Do you still have that? I meant to ask you, do you still have your first guitar? Was it the Squire? Oh, no.
Dude, it's a sad story because I remember it was my first guitar, and it came with an amp and, you know, Squire Strat. And so I'll never forget it was in like, I think 10th or 11th grade. A girl that disappeared off the face of the earth at this point, but she's like, I want to learn guitar. And I was like, well, I have a guitar you could borrow, because I already had a different guitar at that point. I already had my next guitar was a Fender Cyclone. It was really cool.
What is that? A Cyclone? Is that like
it's a Cyclone's like a Jag and a Mustang put together.
Oh, cool.
So if you mix those two together, you get a Cyclone. Interesting. It has a 3-way pickup selector, and it was a Daphne blue color. It was really crazy.
I love that color, man.
Oh, it was super cool. Yeah.
It's weird how Fender, like,
have it somewhere.
Some of their cooler colors they only put out on like the lower, like the Mexican Strats, and it's really weird. Like Fiesta Red, it was
Mexican, yeah, Fiesta Red, and like they have the Candy Apple. But anyway, so I had that guitar, so I go, you could borrow my guitar, that's fine. She's like, okay. She borrows it, and her boyfriend at the time, and this is like 10th grade style, so I don't know how old this dude was, but he fucking takes the guitar and the amp and borrows it from her. She doesn't tell me this, and then moves away or something. And I go, you got to be kidding me. That's my first guitar. She's like, I know. I don't know I can't get a hold of him. And I'm like, man, are you fucking kidding me? Of all things, my first guitar. But whatever, it's okay. I have photos of it and me playing it, so whatever. I guess that's okay.
We're gonna start a Facebook group. Get Frank Sidoris' guitar.
Dude, I know. I can't imagine. It's like a pawn shop somewhere.
Dude, let's put the picture up. Do you have this guitar and a picture of you as a kid holding the guitar?
I would love to find it because, like, it was just a little Fender amp and everything about it. It's like I still can't believe that happened. That's just
plus your dad got it for you, which is kind of got to have some nostalgia, in and of itself.
You're just like, man, did you really need to do that? Like, that's crazy. It's like, it's not my guitar, man. You shouldn't steal it. Yeah, whatever. Peace out or whatever. I have no idea how that played out, but it's crazy.
Well, anybody listen to this, if you have Frank Sidoris's guitar.
Yeah.
Please,
black Fender Strat, Squire Strat. Yeah.
It's a black Fender Squire Strat.
Squire Strat. Sorry.
And you got it from your 10th grade girlfriend. Please return it to its rightful owner, and we will not press charges. We would just be really grateful though, and you could just hit Frank up or hit me up, and we'd love to get that back. And who the hell knows? Maybe there'll be some Slash and Frank Sidoris guitar picks in it for you or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see what I can do. We'll see what I can.
You have like a wide range of musical taste. What's your top 3 albums? Not in any particular order. What would be your knee-jerk reaction to that?
Jesus.
I know, not in any particular order, believe me.
Jesus. Okay. So I'll say, on the top of my head, I'll go. Well, I'm just gonna throw out
knee-jerk
Physical
reaction,
Graffiti. We'll say Physical Graffiti. We'll say it's so funny because the older you get, it's the hardest. It gets harder. This question never gets easier.
Catalog gets bigger. Yeah.
Oh, totally. So I'll go. I'm gonna have to say a Beatles one. Definitely a Beatles. I'll say. I love that I picked two of the hardest bands to pick your favorite album by the way.
Yeah, no. Abbey Road, White Album.
Well, the White Album blew my mind as a kid, so I'll go with White Album.
Cool.
Even though I think I should say Abbey Road.
Side 2 of Abbey Road is almost like perfect.
I play that all the time. I've learned.
Oh, you mean you play it on guitar?
I want to play the entire. Yeah, I could do the whole thing from. I think it's After Because. Is that what it is? After Because on.
It's just a beautiful. I mean.
Yeah. Especially the end.
Yeah.
The end is just the shit, especially when you get there. But I love. I mean, everything about it, dude. Paul's the greatest. But in the third album, Jesus. I'll go. Oh man, this is so crazy. It's gonna be on record. I guess I'll say Killer by Alice Cooper.
Oh, cool. Good album.
Sure.
You know what's really cool?
Let's say that for now, and then tomorrow I'll give you another top 3.
We'll have an update tomorrow. We'll have the Sidoris update. Maybe we could put a link on the Everyone Loves Guitar website with Frank Sidoris. It's like Spotify top 3.
Dude, my Spotify is so all over the board. It's ridiculous. Like I turned it off so people don't know what I'm listening to. If you could share, but I would never do that because people would be like, "What the fuck?" Like it's just people. I feel like it's so all over the board that people wouldn't understand. Like. You're a rock and roll guitar player. It's like, yeah, but you need to be well rounded. It's like that's important. Come on.
Well, what do they think?
Listen to everything.
Listen to like one thing.
I know you got to listen to every single thing ever. So there's no doubt about it.
You know, it's cool. Physical Graffiti, the album cover, the house was shot in New York.
I've been there. It's on St. Mark's. It's
on, right.
90th and
no.
Second, what is it?
No, it's St. Mark's is 8th Street, so it's like on 2nd or 3rd Avenue or something like that.
Then Second. Why did I think 90th? Yeah, Second.
It's really
cool.
So
I've been there many times. Every time I go, anytime we're in St. Mark's, I always take a photo in front of it.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very
and they have a place underneath that it's a tea place called Physical Graffiti.
Oh, do they? That's pretty funny. Great. That's pretty cheesy.
Yeah, super cheesy, but and the people in there have no idea what the album is, I imagine. Remember the woman working there was looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, Physical Graffiti, right? Like Led Zeppelin? No?
She's like,
yeah.
Cricket.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah.
Do you want some tea?
Yeah, do you want some tea or what? Just fucking come on.
Oh, man. Hey, what's something you've learned about yourself along this journey that you've been on for the last 6 to 8 years?
Well, it's kind of crazy. Like it kind of comes back to, I mean, really being thrown into all of that. I mean, I didn't even mention this, but I wasn't able to, I mean, coming from the cab, I remember I tried to quit the band a little earlier so I can learn all the repertoire I needed for Slash.
I was wondering that. I was kind of thinking that. Go ahead.
super hectic, and I wasn't going to tell Slash like, dude, I can't do it. It was none of that. I was not, again, I'm not, just never let him see you sweat kind of thing. I was like, I wanted this so bad, and I wasn't going to let anybody understand, like, or I mean, even think that I was going to give an excuse, like, as to, oh shit, I need more time. I remember I was in Australia, and then I went back to the States, or I forget how it went, but our last show, I kind of remember the manager was a little pissed. I think he was a little upset with me in the cab, I think, because I was like, I have to leave earlier, dude. I don't even know if I could do this Australia run or all this stuff. He goes, well, we need you to commit because this and that. And I'm like, oh, I get it. That's fine. So I did it. And the Slash songs kind of took the back burner because I was like, at the same time, like, oh, fuck, okay, I can't let this happen. So in the end, it's like I proved to myself that, like, in high pressure situations, I'm able to stick it out. But, like, it's just, I don't know, man. I've learned to always just give myself that room to just never, I don't know. I work well under pressure, but just try not to get yourself in those positions.
No, nobody wants to be. Yeah.
No, hell no. It was crazy, but I think it also plays into, like I said, never let them see you sweat. I've learned a lot about kind of that you can. I mean, if you really want to do something and you have that drive, I mean, you're gonna pull it off. It's not like not everyone is. How can I word this? I'm rambling here. Like playing with Slash early on, I'm like, well, okay. There was a point where I go, can I actually do this? Am I the guy to do this? This is years ago. So
sure.
And it's like, am I good enough? And then, fake it till you make it kind of thing. That's like everyone says, I did my absolute best, and I was just kind of playing, and I'm like, there was moments in the middle of it, like, wow, I actually, I'm totally comfortable. I could do this. What the fuck am I getting in my head about? So I guess it all kind of comes back to getting in your head about everything. But I've learned that, just relax about all those just ridiculous things that get in your head. But, I don't know. That's something I've learned about myself to just, again, chill the fuck out. It's just, I'm pretty, I'm not a nervous guy, but I've always been kind of all over the board sometimes mentally. But, as much as I'm straight faced here.
You're like a type A. I totally get it.
Sure.
Yeah. And as you get older, that, at least at me anyway, that, I realize anyway that I don't want stress. So the things I would get hyped up about, and it's funny because my wife will often say, she goes, man, you're so much more chilled out. And a lot of that was on I don't know that it was age per se, but it was kind of deliberate because I felt like things were passing me by, that I wasn't being present enough. And so I wanted to, like, and it's weird because once you hit 50, you sort of, time becomes a more valuable commodity to you.
Absolutely, dude. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I'm almost 30, and that's like, I feel like the past the years have, just sitting here talking, even about like my girlfriend, we've been together for almost 5 years, and I go, how has 5 years gone by in the time that feels like your 10th grade year going to school? Like, fuck, man, summer's never going to come. Like that amount, you know what I mean? It's just crazy to think how fast things are going by now. Back, early on, things went by so slow. It's just, time is definitely a precious commodity. I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, it seems like the more you have going on, the less, the quicker the time goes.
That's all it is. You're just distracted from the time.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you have all the time in the world to think about how the clock.
How you're going to spend your time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you're older, you're like, fuck, I have no time because I got so much shit to do.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'll sit there and go, I can't tell you how many times where I have a show to play or a set list to learn, and I'm like, oh, I got time, because I'm the king of procrastination at times. Like, it's like, okay, well, I have plenty of time. I'm good. I'm fine. Whatever. I'll learn the songs, and then it's just, oh, fuck, the show's in 3 days. Jesus Christ. Then I'm cramming. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but you also have an internal meter. Because the bottom line is you're not going to not do it. So you have the internal meter, and you just let the clock tick till okay, meter's up. I got to do this now.
Right.
And I totally get that because I run like that, to be honest with you. I think anybody that's busy It has to, because you got a lot of shit going on. So you're like, do you practice this, 3 weeks early? Is it really, it could be a detriment because you're going to have to get up to speed on it again. So I totally get that. But yeah, for me, I wanted to be more present, and it's funny because I've been with my wife 25 years and we had the same conversation last night. Fuck, can you imagine? It's 25 years, man. We were kids we met, and it's like, that's
crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's really amazing. That's very impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive to us. we don't know how we did it either.
That's so great.
Yeah, we don't know how we did it either. But yeah, we were just talking about that last night. It was kind of funny. Tell me something about yourself people would either be surprised to hear or would find a little odd.
Well, it's funny because it always comes. I mean, musically, I feel like a lot of people. It always falls back on the whole like that. I am a super funk nerd. I get down with that. But that I don't know. I guess what's another one? I mean, I'd already mentioned that I skateboarded for 10 years. That's like literally all I did. That was my entire life.
Did you compete?
I did in Vegas. Like I did competitions and whatnot, like, all sorts of shit like that, like constantly. I worked in a skate shop. I did all that sort of stuff.
That was your life.
It really, really was. And it's funny because like skate videos introduced me to a ton of good music. And if you don't know that, that's the fact. I mean, every skate video there's always some good shit in there, like plenty of Bowie and cool stuff. But yeah, that was always a thing. I mean, that people don't really expect. Like, wow. And I played baseball forever. That was something I did early on in life.
That's cool.
Yeah. So my favorite thing about that is that now that I have long hair and I have jeans that fit, and I throw a baseball. And I throw a baseball. Some people are like, "Oh, wow!" It's like, or like the fact that I was able to do any sort of sports at all. I mean, my dad was the real deal as a player, and he still has a fucking cannon arm. But like the fact that, I mean, this is a funny story. We were at like a Father's Day thing in Vegas years ago, and I remember it was at Cashman Field. They allowed all the fathers and sons to go play catch on the field. Okay, it was really cool. So I'm playing catch with my dad. I look like this, and I remember, if you could believe this, it sounds like a joke, but the other team was like making fun of me for whatever fucking reason. Like,
because you had long hair.
Because and I didn't realize it, but my dad's like, kind of pointed it out. He's like, yeah, the opposing team here that's about to play an actual game is kind of talking shit about you. So he was essentially like, go long, like just go as far away as you can. And we were just throwing this ball across the field, and they were just kind of like, it's almost like okay, all right, sorry, I talked about your gene. It's like that even fucking matters. Such a stupid thing, but it was like, it's just a silly story.
No, I could totally. No, that gave you got retribution, man.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
That's good, man.
So if anybody's curious, I could throw a baseball. You guitar players.
and in fact, Frank does have the most hair of any human who's ever been on this show, and I do believe it will be a while till someone takes that title, Frank. To be quite honest with you, and I will, and we will have the ticker tape running on the website. but I have your next album title after Not a Dick. It's Skateboarding Is My Life.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah,
Skate or die.
Skate or die. Yeah, man.
Skate or die.
Hey, talk about your dad. What's the most important thing he taught you?
He is the most. I mean, it's all about being essentially a good sport. I mean, anything he taught me early on in life, it's like he really is. It's like this guy has just the integrity is off the charts with my father. He really is he's just the most fair person. Like in a lot of ways, and I've always admired that because like no matter how mad I've ever been about losing anything, whether it's early in life as a kid, if it's a baseball game or like not getting a gig with someone, like auditions I've done in the past, it's like I don't get upset. Of course you're bummed, but it's like I'm not a sore loser. It's like his in general, and that's his dude. He is the king of just integrity. It's amazing to watch. And everyone loves Frank Sr. He's the guy. He is the coolest. That's awesome. He really is the best. Like, and he knows. I grew up in Vegas, obviously, and it's like everybody I'd see that met my dad was just like there was never a person that didn't like my dad that wasn't an asshole. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah. That's great, man. Well, that's like I said. You know what? Well, I've said like 3 times you're like a likable guy. So obviously, whatever the mojo he had, he gave it. You know,
if you can like
attention to it.
If you could learn to like me, then you and you know anybody can. If you like me, you'll like my dad. He is the fucking guy. But then
awesome.
Mom wise, she seriously, if I've learned anything from her, is that I mean over the years. I mean, everyone goes through their ups and downs, but like, she's the most positive person I've ever known in my entire life. You could bring something to her and complain about it, and I've learned to really think about what I'm about to complain about before I talk to her, because if I have something to say like, man, this fucking whatever and this and blah blah blah, and I'm annoyed with it, she's like, well, and she just hits you with this answer where it's so like, okay, well, why would that even matter? Why does that matter so much? Like, that's not a problem. She'll just be like, screw it. It doesn't, like, who cares? That doesn't matter. That's not that important to be upset about. And that's like if I was to pretty much put all the ways she's told me to chill out in one way, that's it. Like, she's like, dude, just no, you're fine. There's no reason to be upset. Just be positive. It's okay. It'll be all right. And you could see in her life, her success. I mean, she produces, 5 different burlesque shows in Vegas now. She stopped dancing.
5.
She has one that just won Best of Las Vegas. It's at the Flamingo. It's called X Burlesque. It's like the burlesque show in town. She doesn't dance anymore, but she's been producing for like 15 years now. And so just to prove, like, I mean, she really puts her money where her mouth is. Like, she is the most positive person and a very successful positive person. It's like she just really showed me, like, I mean, anybody that meets her is like, oh man, Angela, she is a ray of sunshine. You can't bring her down. You'll never bring her down. Like, there's nothing anybody could say, because she knows within herself. It's like, that means nothing to me. I'm positive. It's
great,
really,
man.
So yeah, those 2 people, man, specifically, I mean, just incredible forces in my life. And, you know, my sister too. They're all, I mean, just all great senses of humor and just creative, very positive.
She in town? Is she in town also?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
She works for the show as well. She's like
that's great.
She's like right below Mom. She's like anything that happens, she knows. She's like the wrangler of all issues. It's amazing.
That's great. So when you're in town, you see your family, you're pretty close. You see them all the time.
Oh yeah, no, we're super close.
That's great.
My phone is mostly group texts of family, and that's pretty much it. It's awesome.
That's great, man. That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
I had a question, single in a relationship, but you mentioned a couple of times your girlfriend. How'd you guys meet?
Through mutual friends, pretty much. And in Vegas, you know everybody. I mean, it's like the smallest town ever. It's ridiculous. Smallest big city, I guess, if you want to call it. It's not even a big city, but it's a destination. So, and everybody knows each other here. It's ridiculous. But I saw a photo of her, of course, fucking Instagram, right? It's like who the hell is that? It's like, I don't even know who that is. And she knew a friend of mine, and then, essentially we were introduced, but I ended up seeing her one time, and I was just kind of like, oh, it's that fucking girl. No way. And I just essentially inquired through people around her, like, so what's her deal, man? So fast forward, we had coffee, and then, we ended up just like, it was just easy. It's just so immediate. Like, damn, she's the shit. Like, she really is amazing.
Good for you, man.
She's, awesome. It sounds so, I'm not trying to be cliche, but
sounds nice. Sounds
cool.
cool.
She is a model. That's what she does. And here's the thing. Like, when I say that, I only say it because she is a professional. She really is. That's her gig. It's not like, oh, I model, but I do this on the side. Like literally, that's her deal. And it's incredible how hard she works at it and how naturally amazing she is. It's ridiculous. Like, people can't believe. Yeah, it's just something to mention, because when you go, yeah, I date a model, you sound like an asshole, first of all. But like, just say, I have to preface it with she is legit in every way. She's the best. So
that's cool, man. No, it sounds very cool. It doesn't sound anything.
Yeah,
it sounds good. You've been all over the world, man. What's your favorite place you've traveled?
So I have. I've been to London a million times at this point, but it's one of those places I just feel like I need to move to at some point in my life.
Really?
Just live in London. Yeah, I mean, for many reasons, I just feel really comfortable out there. I love it there. And then as far as that's just a place I moved to. But then, like, as far as places I love to death, it was I went to Beirut one time, and I had the best meal of my entire life, because I'm Greek, but
it's Mediterranean, Middle Eastern sort of
similar food. Yeah. my God. So then, I love Scandinavia in general. I mean, I can hang out in any of those killer cities. Like, Stockholm's the shit. I love Copenhagen. It's kind of hard to pick one, but I do, if I had to choose, man, that's tough. How about you? Where's your favorite? And then I'll kind of we'll go from there.
Well, it's funny. My wife's from the UK, and I've been to London. And the problem is, I'm from New York City, so I can't. I'd rather be in New York than London. I haven't been anywhere near as many places as you have, so I'm not like. I guess the place that I liked. I don't know. I got married in Hawaii. That was pretty chilled out, and I'd like to go there, but I don't know.
Vancouver, Canada is the shit.
I
love it.
I heard it's really. I've never been there. Out west, it's gorgeous, right?
I love it.
You know what I thought was nice? We did a family trip one time, and we stayed in Idaho with a buddy of mine, and then we went up to we drove up to Seattle. I'd never been to the Pacific Northwest. That was breathtaking, man.
Oh, dude, it is so beautiful up there, man. It is next level natural beauty. You know what I mean? Ridiculous.
Well, especially here in Florida, where everything is flat. It was just like I'd never seen. That was just breathtaking. Like I said, it was pretty amazing. And I like Colorado. It was cool. I haven't been enough places to make a judgment.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of hard because I feel like I really do love all these places a lot. Like, I mean, Eastern Europe's the shit too. I love Poland.
I've heard that from so many people. That it's just beautiful
awesome.
there.
And even like I've been to Bucharest is cool. It's a little bit more intense, I feel like, but. We went to India not long ago, and that was out of control. Amazing.
What was that like? What was out of control about it?
It was a whole experience that a lot of people. I mean, you have to prepare like mentally. Like, wow, this really is culture shock. Like, totally different, and everyone's happy no matter what. Like, I feel like,
And that's like some abject poverty there in many places.
Oh, that's what I was just gonna say. The people that are not in. I mean, good fortune, I guess. Like, they're still the happiest. Doesn't matter. Like, they're still finding Christmas lights and putting them up. Well, Diwali lights. Sorry. So anyway, it's like it's just a great attitude all around, and the food was fucking incredible. And dude, Moscow was awesome. But what's funny is that what I've learned from traveling so much is that people need to go experience these places because they're never as bad as America or like our American opinions. Our perspective is always just so like, oh, it's fucking crazy in Russia. And it's like, well, look, if you're fucking around, if you're an idiot in Russia, yeah, it's going to get pretty crazy, dude. Like, don't be stupid about it. But like, everything's safe for the most part. I mean, there's certain places that, I guess there's turmoil, obviously, but like, dude, for the most part, everything's cool. But,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I just forgot it.
It was my fault.
No, it wasn't you. No, I was thinking because Moscow, and it reminded me of somewhere else to say, but it'll come back to me. No worries. Go ahead.
No, I forgot. A lot Americans, though, we don't travel anywhere near as much as like, Europeans, for example. I mean, because the state is so big, the states are so big, and you can, you fly from Florida to Seattle, and everything's the same there. I mean, there's slight differences, but we're speaking the same language. The social behavior is exactly the same. Whereas you go from, the Netherlands to Russia could be dramatically different.
Dude, I love the Netherlands as a whole. I was gonna say, I know what it is. Tokyo, dude. Being in Japan. Holy shit, it's one of my favorite places to be. I love Australia. The best coffee in the world is in Australia. I know it might sound like, if you don't know, it is seriously. Like, I mean, I love coffee in South America. I love coffee in Europe in general. But like, dude, when you go to Melbourne, it's just this culture and appreciation and love of the craft. It's like when they make you a coffee, if you don't like coffee, you go there and try it, then you could form your opinion on if you like coffee or not, because that is like the place. And so that's another fun fact about myself, I guess. I have an entire list. I'll just show you and I'll scroll through.
Yeah. You're a coffee snob?
I am on fire about my coffee. Like,
I am too. And after this, man, let's swap out some notes because we are coffee snobs.
Send it to you. Yeah, it's crazy because over the years of touring, hopefully, okay, if you could see, hopefully this will focus. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, these are actual places to go. Oh, these aren't just. So I've
been to all of those places. across the entire world, and it just goes to ongoing lists. And I don't really send it to people, but anytime I get a coffee recommendation.
Oh, those are actually coffee places. Hey, so listen, we'll be selling Frank Sidoris' coffee list for $99.99, and when you order now, we'll give you the extra continent list of.
Oh, dude, oh my God, it's so funny because it was always just a personal list, but everyone's like, you got to do something with it, because I'm not trying to do like a coffee blog or do some kind of thing with it, but dude, a lot of people love coffee, and I really love it, so I always just write down places I've been to and and had personal experiences with for the most part. And like, say I'm in Dublin, I tell you to go to this place.
Oh shit.
And I always send my friends little screenshots of like whatever city they're going to. So, and if you had a place that you'd been to in Dublin, you're like, dude, but you need to try this, I'll write it down. And next time I'm there, I go and I'll totally, I'll let you know how it goes. I'll give you
you're my guy now. And the next time I'm going out of the area,
dude, any state too, for the most part. I mean, I swear to you, I've been, even if it's just like little towns, like, sometimes you play festivals in the States or even over in Europe, and it's like you're in the middle of nowhere, but like there's a little coffee shop with some dude with a mustache who really wants to make you a serious cup. It's like, it's always cool, man. I write it all down.
I'll tell you something really funny. Literally today in the gym, I was working out, listening to a podcast, and a guy was talking about how great the coffee was in Australia because they have a special kind of chocolate that they fuse in with the coffee or something like that. Now, maybe it wasn't a regular coffee. Maybe it was he said it was called red gold or yellow gold chocolate, and he wound up importing it here. And maybe it wasn't a regular coffee. Maybe it was like a cappuccino kind of thing. I don't know, but I literally was in the gym today listening to this.
Wow.
But he said Australia coffee was amazing. So
it really is. Yeah, I've never heard of that, but the Australian coffee as a whole, dude. I mean, anywhere, any hotel lobby for the most part. I mean, it seems ridiculous, but I feel like it's almost ingrained in them when they're young. It's like just to make coffee nice. And then like when you come to the States and I've talked to people, I'm like, where are you from? They're like, oh, I'm from Adelaide, or I'm from Perth, or anywhere. I'm from Brisbane. I'm like, so you like coffee? And they're like, oh, of course. Like, it's not even just a niche thing. It's like it's just coffee is their
That's
jam.
their thing. Yeah, yeah.
That's what it seems like. I'm not going to say, I can't guarantee it, but in my experience, that's what it seems like. And I respect it because coffee is very important to
I love coffee. Dude, do you have any places in Tampa? You could probably know better places here than I do.
Tampa? I don't even know. Hold on, because I've only
How
been
funny
there.
Would that be?
I've only been there like twice, I think. And hold on, I might not actually, after all this hype, I might not even have a fucking Tampa.
Well, Tampa's not like a big mecca for coffee. I mean, I don't even know.
Damn, I typed in Tampa, and what I got was the name of a place, but it's not in Tampa.
No worries, man. I'll see if I can fill you into your list.
Dude, that's the thing. That's what's so fun about it, is that if you go, hey, I actually have a place, it's called whatever, and then I write it down and I recommend it anytime someone goes to Tampa. So it's kind of a fun thing, because any friends or family that are wherever in the world, I'm like, you need to go here and get the fucking pastry and the whatever, and then they're like, dude, that was good.
That's awesome. That's very cool, actually.
One day I'll publish it somehow, but I don't want to give it away for free. I give it to people I really care about. I'm like, here, just take this. Don't show anyone, because it's like I want to share it personally, but I don't want it to just be kind of I don't know. I put a lot of work in getting it, I guess. So
Frank, these are jealously guarded secrets that not just anybody could have.
Yeah, jealousy. I love it. Exactly.
That's what happens when you write ad copy for 18 years.
Right. Totally. My fucking coffee list.
Yeah, man. Hey, is there a favorite and a least favorite part of what you do?
Let's see. Well, I mean, the fact that you do get to travel as a guitar player, like, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that is the fact that, I mean, that's how my band works. It's like slash the name. It's like he's taken us all over the world, and it's just amazing. So, I mean, that is such a positive, because I feel like that just it just rounds you out as a human being. I feel like you really do get to experience other cities, and that, I mean, it's almost impossible to just be ignorant. I mean, have those kind of like silly opinions when you've been to these places. It's like, and then you can experience it and kind of form an actual opinion. But the downside, I mean, I guess this isn't in all seriousness, but I guess when you get fucking sick on the road, that is the worst thing in the world.
Oh yeah, that's got to be horrible.
But no, that's not really an answer. But more so, like, because I have animals and stuff at home, and I love to tour, but like, you know, being your home life, I think I'm fortunate enough to have a woman in my life that actually is understanding and can, you know, really sympathize with the situation, understand this is what I love to do. This is my life. This is what I'm doing for a living. I need to do this. And, you know, she could come out and on tour and we can hang out and whatnot. But like, other than that, not being able to be home sometimes that's probably the only real actual downside. But, you know, you do get some off time. Slash loves to just, I mean, if he could, he would play every single day of his life for 4 hours a day live. Like it's like he has days off because he has to. It's like, it's not his choice. So anytime we tour, it's always like a month or more, a little bit, and a little bit in between downtime. So when it's album cycle time, I am gone. Like I am on tour and I'm home for like 3 weeks out of the year. Sometimes it's crazy.
Yeah.
2 days at a time. It's just, you know, that's not a complaint really. It's just kind of like, it's just what it is. I guess if you had to choose a downside.
Yeah. I don't see, no, it's tough lifestyle. Yeah. It's I don't see it as a complaint. I mean, someone's going to sit and say, you know, it's easy being gone 49 weeks a year. I don't think that's like really reality. Right. I think it is a hardship and it's something that you're okay with because you love what you do. But yeah, I could understand that 100%.
Totally.
And that's what 99% of the musicians who travel, that's the answer they give me, the traveling. Or else they'll say, you know,
I'd say queuing up at airports and waiting. That fucking sucks.
I was just about to say they like getting to fucking Moscow. They like when they land in Moscow, but the time between A and B is fucking murder. That's exactly what people have said.
100%, dude. That's just all. That is totally the case every time.
Toughest decision you ever had to make, or hardest thing you ever had to do?
It's interesting. Well, I mean, personal life wise, I can't really think of any. Guitar wise, I mean, I don't even know if I could go down that road, but personally, that's usually all of those answers defer to animal related stuff, as far as like, you know,
putting down an animal. Oh yeah, man, that's devastating.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think, like, other than that, I mean, lately things have been pretty solid. But you know, on that question, it'd probably have to be a couple years ago, putting down a dog. I guess it was you know, dog you've had for your whole life kind of thing.
Oh, it's terrible.
That's the hard. Yeah, you know the deal.
We had to put in 6 months. We lost a dog and a cat. Man, it was like, and I walked in there with that cat, and she was a rescue. And I swear to God, I came out, I was bawling.
Oh, dude, they even say you really, I mean, this is just an aside, you really shouldn't go in with your animal when you do that. Like, for a lot of reasons. I mean, there was a whole explanation where it's like, it's just not good for you as a human. It's just not good. Like, even though of course you want to be there for your animal, I was just like, I get it. But I personally, it was my Shar-Pei years ago. Yeah. I could not fucking even handle it. It's just the craziest thing, man.
No, it's horrible. We had to put our other dog down. This is like 10 years ago, and my 2 sons wanted to come in with me. My daughter and my wife stayed out, but this last time was tough. The cat was 17, man, and she was just a fucking warrior. She was homeless.
That's incredible, dude. Cats, that's a good year.
And she was like homeless. My daughter found her. She weighed 7 pounds, and she had no claws. I don't know how she even survived, and what kind of asshole rips her claws out, but. Yeah, I was just like bawling, and they were like, you know, because I'm not like a big guy, but I'm sort of like, you know, muscular, and people like, I was like a fucking whimpering baby, man, and I was just,
dude,
I didn't care.
There's nothing you could do about it, man. That's just what it is. Like, that's, you know, you care and you love something, especially, I mean, animals are just innocent. So
totally, yeah.
And when you know the decision has to be made, it's just.
Oh, it's gut wrenching.
Fucking worse, dude. I get it, man. I'm so with you on that.
Best advice you've ever been given?
Let's see here.
And who gave it to you, if you remember?
It's funny because I can kind of go into this relationship wise. It's one of my favorite pieces. It was from this guy's name's Freeman, and he's been with his wife forever. I mean, I don't even know how many years. It's insanely long. So he was explaining to me. He goes, "Hey, can I give you some advice?" This is years ago when I was younger. He's just like, Couple things. Number one, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous in general, but the person you're dating should not put you in a position usually to be jealous too. So it was kind of like that. I was like, all right, I'll take that. And then he said, number two, take separate vacations. I was like, what? And then he goes, being away from each other is one of the most important things. It's like not playing the guitar. Like this totally flies. It's like the same boat. Like Alex Lifeson actually said this. It's like some of the best things I could ever do as a guitar player was not play. He goes, play your ass off. Take 2 weeks off if you have to. It's like, or take a couple days. It's like, you're going to, you'll approach it differently. You'll look at the guitar. Like when you sit down, you're not going to play the same shit again. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I do. Fresh eyes. It's a big help.
That's it. So then, relationship wise, it definitely falls in the same boat. It's like he says, take separate vacations. Like, say I went to LA for a day or something. It's like, you get to miss each other. You need to miss the person you're with. You need to miss the guitar.
Yeah.
It's nice to take a break in general. So
I get that.
I guess that kind of, I looped it in there with a guitar somehow.
No, but separate vacation. Man, I wouldn't go away for 2 weeks, and I kind of really wouldn't want
2
my
weeks
wife
is a lot.
going. I'd like a day or two here or there. I could.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
A couple days, but
it's important that they have, that you have separate lives. I think is like,
absolutely, yeah. And as a touring guitar player, it was like that was a big deal. Like you get to miss each other. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So everything's cool. I think that helps with 5 years of, and I'm talking to a guy who's been with someone for 25 years. So you could give me much more advice on that, but
I don't know if I could. I don't know. We're both type A's, and I'm trying to think. I've learned so much as I'm just trying to think if I could say one thing. My wife has helped me be a much better person, and a lot of, I mean, I had to do the changing, but a lot of it was motivated by her. Like, I wanted to be better because I felt she deserved a better Craig, and so. But I think, as far as relationship goes, man, somebody told me this one time. They said, you got to work your relationship. It's like a business. If you stop working your business dies. And I always kept that in mind. And like, I have to honestly say, now we got the formula down pat. Whereas, if we have an argument, the other person somebody steps in and says, "Hey, listen."
I like that. That's cool. Yeah. It's like you could kind of, okay.
Hey, listen, like, what's so important about being right?
Great point.
It's just fucking not important. So none of us give a shit now. What we care about, and it took a long time to get there. What we care about is like, man, we know we're on each other's team. Let's just fucking get, talk about it. And it's easy for us both to say, I'm sorry now. It's not, we're both not preoccupied about being right.
That's cool. Yeah.
And it's made, that was a big thing for us. And of course, silly things everybody else does, good communication and all that kind of shit. So
totally,
but
no doubt about it.
Yeah. I don't know if having one long relationship, I don't know if that's qualified. I was married before, that didn't work. So maybe that qualifies me to have a bad one and a good one. I don't know.
No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, you go to school off of all that, and then here you are. And now 25 years later, it's like,
yeah,
you're doing a great job.
Well,
so that's cool.
Well, thanks. I got an easy partner to do it with. So last question, man. And I cannot thank you enough. This has been a real pleasure talking to you, man. Honestly.
Back at you. 100%.
I like, somehow.
You make it easy.
Stay in contact. Oh man, you make it easy. I'm the same dude every episode. Last question, and this is a changing question. What's your definition of happiness today? Obviously, that could change tomorrow, next week. And
I think over time, like when you work, maybe like a 9 to 5 or something, it's something that you don't want to. I mean, I'm not discrediting 9 to 5, but I'm saying something that you don't want to do. It's like I think now that all I did was fantasize back then, like when I was working and just retail and shit. And it's like now doing this, it's like happiness for me is knowing 1000% that I'm working towards, like I am writing or something awesome's going down. Like I'm literally working towards being a better guitar player. Happiness for me is if I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, Oh, I have a much better understanding of the Mixolydian scale. Man, this is how I feel. Like that makes me feel so good. That's happiness, dude. Like for me personally, knowing that I'm on the right, like feeling like I'm on the right track as a guitar player and as a person, and I'd say that's pretty much, yeah. I'd say that's the way I could sum that up. That's where I'm coming from, because lately that's anytime I leave rehearsals or something like that, I feel whole. I just feel good. Like, man, that's progress. And I guess you could sum it up in like knowing that I'm making progress at all, knowing that I am progressing in something that I truly care about, whether it is, playing a guitar or, my relationships, my friendships, everything. That makes me feel good.
And you know what? Your mom's going to be happy when she hears that, because it's very positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
She will, man.
Seriously, could thank them both for.
She'll be real happy.
They really both are just that. What I mentioned. They're just fucking just stand up people and very positive. Both of them. It's awesome.
Awesome, man.
I love positive people. Like, hey, dude, this fucking guy cut me off or whatever. Any stupid example, and they're just like, hey, it doesn't matter. And that certainty of them telling me that doesn't matter makes me just feel so. Man, I feel dumb for complaining to you, but I also feel enlightened, and I'm going to approach things differently now,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Much of shit we all get frustrated with from time to time probably doesn't matter. That's what I've found,
100%, dude.
Listen, I cannot thank you enough for everything. You're just an awesome guy. Let me tell people where they can find you and what to look out for. So Frank's on Instagram. Check him out at Frank Sidoris. It's Frank, if I have to spell that, I can't help you. Sidoris, Sidoris. And he's also on Twitter.
Good job.
And he's also on Twitter at Frank Sidoris. And one thing you might want to talk about, look out for the new Slash and Miles and the Conspirators CD coming out in 2018. Want to mention something about that?
Well, it's all it's funny because right now everyone's kind of freaking out about it. Like, hey, when's it coming out? What's the plan? And the long and short of it is that it's been a work in progress for a long time. But I mean, I can't say much. But I mean, it's definitely. I imagine things will be rocking and rolling pretty soon enough. We have an album to finish, so that's something to know. I mean, there's no definite number here, but we're working on giving everybody what they want. So it's something to know.
Awesome.
Whenever possible. That's just we're working on it.
Awesome. And where do they go? Slash's website to go sign up to check you out and get tickets? And
yeah, it's so funny. Is it Slash online? I don't
know. Let's figure this out immediately. I'm going to do this right now. See if we could figure it out. Slash tour. Boom. We don't mess around. SlashOnline.com.
SlashOnline.com. So I got it. Wow.
You got it. Yeah, and there's a whole tour here, all the GNR stuff, and then I'm assuming that he'll have the other stuff. And just check out Frank, man. He's a great guy, a great guitar player, and you're going to hear a lot from him in the next many, many years to come. Hey, awesome. Man, you're great. Thank you so much. I honestly really appreciate it. You're just
anytime. We'll be in touch.
Good.
I have many guitars to send you.
Good. Hey, everybody, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did, which would be very difficult because I really had a blast doing this. Thanks so much to Frank Sidoris for being incredibly generous with his time. I really appreciate it. I know everybody listening does. And go to everyonelovesguitar.com. Sign up to get notified about future episodes along with some cool stuff for guitar players. Be nice. This is important. Go play your guitar and have fun. Until next time, peace and love. I'm out. We hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, subscribe to the Everyone Loves Guitar podcast, and you can do this online at everyonelovesguitar.com or on iTunes. And if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star positive review. The more 5-star reviews we get, the higher our show ranks, and higher rankings mean we get to continue speaking with cool, interesting guests on our show. We'll see you on the next episode, and until then, keep playing your guitar and have fun making music.